All right, folks, we welcome you back live to the Steve Malzberg Show. Don't forget, my buddy J.D. Hayworth will follow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right after this show, as he does every night. And Stacy Washington, host of Stacy on the Right Show, will join us and participate in taking your phone calls. But first, our own John Bachman was the host of a focus group hosted by Newsmax, and it focused naturally on the election. Let's watch.
All right, let's go ahead and get started with our focus group. Everybody, thanks for being with us. Our first topic is Donald Trump.
I respect women. I love women. I cherish women.
Raise your hand if you agree with Donald Trump on this issue.
His directness might throw some people off. It does not throw me off at all. I appreciate it.
Here's a guy, he was impeached because he lied. Do you remember the famous, I did not have sex with that woman, and then a couple of months later, I'm guilty. There is nobody that was worse. Nobody.
Do you think this will help Donald Trump?
Hillary Clinton features herself as a feminist, and yet with all this going on with her husband in the White House, she was never there with the women who he abused.
And are you worried that your past could hurt your wife's campaign?
I don't have a response. If he wins the Republican nomination, we'll have plenty of time to talk about it. If Hillary wins, I think I have no interest in getting involved in their politics or doing anything except trying to help Hillary.
You know, I think that he is fair game because he's a past president.
I am not going to respond to the insults and the attacks coming from Donald Trump in this campaign.
I think women will get to choose who the next president of the United States is going to be. And I do very strongly believe that both candidates have to start addressing issues that are very important to women. That includes equal pay, that includes women's rights, health care, job opportunities, education. And I personally haven't heard either candidates really address those issues in any depth.
Then deal me in.
Who do you think is the best person to represent women in the White House?
I think it's Donald Trump.
Boom, boom, boom.
And I think that there are a lot of single issue voters who are women. But I think when it comes down to voting for who's best for our country, as far as security is concerned, and a lot of other, and economics, because if you're not economically sound, social programs don't matter, security doesn't matter, you have to be economically sound.
The issue of women's rights, and for me that's really important because that is all encompassing. It encompasses economics, it encompasses health, it encompasses so many different areas, and for me that is really important when I look and evaluate both candidates.
I'm very much undecided right now. I think the issue is not so much women. I think all those issues are issues that people in general care about, and I'm still waiting to see what the real policies are beyond the rhetoric in the headlines.
I'll throw out a couple ideas. Guys, raise your hand if this is the most important issue to you. The economy. Okay, security. All right, the most important issue, Tom, you can't pick all one, or maybe they're all the same. How about immigration? Who's going to vote decided on immigration? All right, you think immigration? Let's talk about that. Why do you think this is the most important issue to you?
We'll build the wall. Don't worry about it. Who's going to pay for the wall? Not even a doubt, okay?
As far as raising the borders from Mexico, I think that's very important because we do have a lot of illegal immigrants and they are taking jobs away from Americans.
Tom, you're retired law enforcement. Tell us why you think this would work.
It's not just Mexicans that are coming in. We've had terrorism come in through the borders from the south. There's been mass killings down there along that border south of the Rio Grande. So I think it's important that we do that. If they want to come in, they come in through the front door legally.
John?
Yes, I think we mentioned the wall earlier, and I think it's as much a symbol, like the Statue of Liberty. It's a symbol of something. It's a symbol of resistance. You will no longer. America has never been viewed as weakly as we are now. I mean, we're ignored by the rest of the world. Our armed forces, I've been in the military myself, the armed forces, we have to keep in mind, the president will be commander-in-chief.
I have some concerns about Donald Trump. I also have some concerns about Hillary Clinton in terms of respect. My colleagues, the chatter is off the charts on both sides, and joking, but I hope Costa Rica has a lot of room for Americans to come down, no matter who wins. There's a lot of people who just feel that there's a lack of real understanding or taking the national security situation seriously. But by even Hillary Clinton, who has a lot of experience.
Okay, now we're going to play word association. We're going to ask the voters how they feel about the presumptive nominees. One word description. Tell us how you feel about Hillary Clinton.
Opportunistic.
Deceitful.
Dishonest.
Anti-police.
Untrustworthy.
Unclear.
Determined.
Okay, next up, Donald Trump. One word to describe the way you feel about Donald Trump.
Gutsy.
Courageous.
Strong.
Strong.
American.
Bombastic.
Controversial.
Okay, so not exactly a scientific poll here, but at least we know where these folks stand. A nice cross-section of opinions. Now back to you guys.
All right, John, thank you very much. All right, folks, we welcome in now Stacy Washington, host of Stacy on the Right show. Hello, Stacy.
Hey there, Steve.
How are you?
I'm rocking it. You know, it's an interesting focus group.
It was a
wow.
very interesting focus group. All right, so let me ask you this. Some of the news of the day. First of all, we find out that the FBI, head of the FBI is saying to Hillary, stop calling this some kind of informational investigation. We investigate. That's what we do. This is an FBI investigation. You know, she's been putting forth this notion that it was something less than a legitimate FBI probe.
Well, I think for Hillary, she thinks it's like, you know, guys, if we meet before 5, it's like lunch, it's aperitifs. If it's after 5, then we're calling this a cocktail party. But it's you guys and me and a few of my staffers and, you know, whoever we have running around the house. And we're just chatting. This isn't an investigation. In her mind, she's above prosecuting, and it's taken this long. So why should she be worried? But the FBI, they have not just their reputations, but their investigative abilities are on display, and Americans are watching them very closely because you and I know, Steve, that had the name on the top of the email in the receiving box been Stacy Washington or Steve Malzberg,
right,
you and I would be doing this Skype interview from behind prison bars. We wouldn't be sitting here free.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to the phone, Stacy. A lot of people want to talk to you and I. Let's say hello at 877 Newsmax to Paul from Fort McCoy, Florida. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Steve. How you doing, sir?
Good, good. Say hello to Stacy, too.
Hello, Stacy. How are you, ma'am?
Hi, Paul. Hello.
I have something to say on this. We've been talking about it several days. Donald Trump keeps changing his mind. Well, I want to speak out in support of that, if I may, please, sir.
Go ahead.
The last election, before World War II, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's entire platform was, and I quote, "Your son nor mine shall fight on foreign soil." Well, thank God he changed his mind on that issue, because if he didn't, we wouldn't be speaking right now, neither of us. And I think this is, to say a person changing his mind is phony or false, is absolutely wrong. It is showing that he is concerned, that he is looking into the issues.
All right, Stacy, do you see the? Well, actually, I don't think the mind changing or the shifting on issues is significant in this election, in this matchup, because both candidates have done it over the years.
Yeah, I actually think there's something interesting that's going on, and the dynamic is that Americans want someone who's like themselves. And so you see on the right with Donald Trump, his ability to communicate with Americans in a way that they feel like is just like themselves has overridden any policy flip-flops that he's done, any changes, any adjustments he's made to his stances. And it's almost as if people are saying, you know what, as long as you tear down the current structure, you're free to do whatever you'd like. Now, I'm not in that corner. I feel like he does need to be more firm on his positions. But so far, he's nowhere near the level of duplicity that Hillary Clinton has displayed for the last 20 years.
I agree. All right, Paul, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Let's go to Julie in Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Hi, Julie.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
Okay, what's your question? What can we do for you, Julie?
Well, first of all, I'm calling in, and I am supporting Hillary Clinton. But I wanted to talk about Donald Trump not releasing his tax return.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think he should release his tax return, because he should not be held to no higher standard than any of the other people that's running. Not only that, we are required as federal taxpayers to file our tax return, and also when I apply for my children to go to college, I have to release my tax return. Most government jobs that you go to get, When you get in the house, you have to release your tax return. So what's the problem with him not releasing his tax return?
Well, as we were fortunate enough to have a caller who worked for the IRS, or so she said, and she said that she agrees with Trump and his attorneys that as long as they're being audited, and apparently several years of Donald Trump's tax returns are being audited as we speak, that they're advising him not to release any returns until that matter is settled. Although you make good points. The average citizen doesn't have to release them to anybody. But if you do apply for certain jobs, I would imagine you're right. And colleges, they want to see your tax returns. And I've had instances, I think, over the years applying for something, maybe a loan, a mortgage, where they want to see it as well. Thank you very much for calling. More with Stacy Washington and your calls, 877 Newsmax. Don't go away.